Today's Tuesday tax tip of the week has to do with the exclusion of the gain on sale of a principal residence from an individual tax return. If individual taxpayers meet the following criteria, they may exclude a portion of the gain on the sale of the principal residence from income on their personal tax return. The three criteria are as follows. 1. Ownership test. The taxpayer must have owned the property in question for at least 2 of the last 5 years. 2 is a use test. The taxpayer must have used the property in question as their principal residence in at least 2 of the 5 previous years. And 3 is that the taxpayer must not have sold a property within the last 2 years and used the exclusion of the property from income within that last 2-year period. Now, in the case of married taxpayers filing jointly, they may exclude up to $500,000 of the gain on sale of a principal residence if those 3 criteria are met, meaning that at least one of the 2 taxpayers own the property for at least 2 of the last 5 years, and both of the 2 joint taxpayers both used the property in 2 of the last 5 years as their principal residence and did not sell a property within the last 2 years and use the exclusion of gain on the sale of that property. Now, in the case of a married taxpayer filing jointly where one of the taxpayers met the ownership test, and again, only one of the 2 taxpayers met the use test and did not sell the property and use the exclusion within the last 2 years, in that case, instead of a $500,000 exclusion, only a $250,000 exclusion would be available. In the case of a taxpayer who was widowed, they are allowed to use the $500,000 exemption, assuming both spouses met all the criteria and the house is sold within 2 years of the date of death. The $500,000 exclusion is still available. In the case of 2 taxpayers that share a residence but are not married, each may use the $250,000 exclusion, assuming that they meet the criteria. So in other words, if 2 people that are not in a relationship, that are just friends, buy a house, they can, if filing separate tax returns, each can qualify for a $250,000 exclusion, assuming that they meet the criteria. In the case of a property that was used as either a vacation home or a rental property before it was used as a principal residence, if that non-qualified use occurred after January 1st of 2009, part of the maximum exclusion would have to be reduced. In that case, I strongly urge you speak to a tax professional because it's a little bit of a complicated calculation, but I just wanted to make you aware of it. Hope this tip helps you out. I'll see you again next week.